Welcome to the Cloudping Podcast. Thank you for being here. I'm Samique,
I'm Atlas.
and this is part infinity of our story. We're a cute middle-aged interracial couple, looking good in our almost 30s.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're going to Iceland in 2 days.
We're going to Iceland in 2 days. By the time you see this, we'll probably be in Iceland.
We'll see what happens. We don't know. We don't have a
some
plan.
good tickets. There's some nice tickets to Iceland right now.
Yeah, actually, like 2 days ago, Sonic woke me up and I was just like asleep, and he was just like, "Babe, let's go to Iceland in 2 days." And I was like, or like, "Let's go to Iceland like tomorrow or something." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was so sleepy. I didn't know what he was talking about. But then, yeah, the tickets were really cheap, so we're going on Thursday.
We're going
So it's gonna be
Yeah. A little about some of our products in the last episode, but this is special. This is our Glimmer Cleanser for people who've used this before. Thank you for your support. Now this is entirely new. And what's special about it is a lot of antioxidants and things that will just make your skin just feel so good. Just fall in love with your skin, you know what I mean? So cucumber, prickly pear from Morocco, green tea extract. We'll play a little montage of me making this, so you can actually see it's making it. So, yeah, I mean, it's just awesome. I mean, I cannot recommend it enough. It's just so many good things in it. We have aloe to soothe your skin. We have vitamin C. We have niacinamide.
And no bad stuff is in it.
No bad stuff at all. I mean, it's very gentle. So I made the base of the cleanser with oils. So yeah, it's gonna be a little alkaline. So definitely follow up with the toner and moisturizer. It's essential. I told you. If you feel dry or something on your face a little bit, like a little tight, it's quite alkaline. I mean, soap, you cannot really make it too acidic. So yeah, there's this. I can guarantee that it's gonna show some changes. Like, look at our skin; it's glowing. I just used it right before this episode.
Glow.
I mean, there's a lot of products out there. You want to ask me why you want to buy this? Now, if you want to ask me why you would buy this product and how it's gonna be good for you, I mean, it's absolutely, that question you have to ask, of course. It's such a great product. I mean, all the actives, and it's very carefully thought out. It's not like complicated to the point where you're like, I don't even know. If you cannot read the ingredients, do not buy that product. This is so simple. Can you read it?
Yeah.
Right?
Let's see.
You know most of the
water, coconut oil?
Yeah, I mean, I have to put the Latin names in there, right?
Yeah.
It's like
potassium hydroxide. I don't know what that is.
It's lye. It basically makes it.
Oh, it makes it soap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which doesn't remain after it's saponified, by the way.
Olive oil.
Olive oil, hemp seed oil, prickly pear, argan.
Yeah, castor oil. These are all like soap ingredients at first.
Mm-hmm.
Jojoba oil, hemp seed oil, sweet almond oil, apricot kernel oil.
No, I was just saying, you could read through them, right?
Yeah, prickly pear, aloe.
The prickly pear is really
glycerin.
important in this because it's naturally like anti-inflammatory, very, very high in antioxidants. It's going to just clear up those free radicals, clean up all those pores. Like I said, you don't have to get soaps that are like complicated. Something gentle, follow up with a nice moisturizer. And, it comes at a great price point too. I mean, it's like $30. And that thing will last. It looks like a small bottle. It's a 50 milliliters, but it will last a while. How much did you use, babe? How much do you usually use? Like one
pump is like totally enough.
Because you have the emulsifier on your face, follow that routine.
Cucumber, fruit water, bitter orange. There's so much good stuff in there.
Rose water, cucumber.
So yeah, where other products like make you sick, fuck up your endocrine system, fuck up your hormones, in other words, and do all just weird stuff.
This is not going to do that.
Does not do that at all. And also support small business. Completely eco-friendly packaging and processing, and
It's just the two of us.
Non-toxic,
Yeah.
amazing, effective ingredients and formulation.
So again, thank you for supporting us.
Yes.
And I made this with a lot of intention to benefit you guys. You know, that's the whole point, like bringing solutions, right, to kind of a complicated thing, which shouldn't be that complicated, right? Skins are complicated, but we can help. So yeah, check it out. It's cloppingbeauty.com. You can see it there.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah.
Our episode now.
So where we left off, we were like in the States, and
We just got to the States, yeah.
And then at the end of the year, November, December, we started hearing about COVID. So that kind of fucked us up because we were like planning on continuing to travel.
Yeah, I mean, at this point from what I remember, we didn't have like plans to travel we had just gotten here. We were thinking we'd live here a few months, stay here a few months, and then travel, right?
Yeah, I think we were thinking of going to Europe and Mexico.
Yeah, well, we thought of that, then also we're like, hey, let's just make our way down south from the U.S.
Yeah, but there was also like the whole thing about the festivals and dancing at the festivals, and
there's a lot of things, a lot of plans.
Yeah.
Kind of got messed up.
It got messed up so bad. And we were literally sitting at my grandma's house, and my mom called, and we were about to book
tickets to Mexico.
Exactly. And my mom
we were
called.
Like right there on the computer.
Literally, and it, like, as we're about to push book, my mom called and was like, I think everything's gonna get shut down. Don't go.
Next day there was a lockdown.
And then it was so annoying because we wish we went.
I mean, there's good and bad, but
I mean, obviously
the great
we were
part.
meant to.
I mean, after that, I really, of course, started doing this.
Yeah, everything's obviously meant to be. I do believe that. I don't like actually wish things were different because that's pointless.
Yeah, and our life is beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
We're in a great place.
Yeah,
I mean, there was a lot of ups and downs, especially for me, a lot of the uncertainty of like, oh, when will I see my family?
Yeah.
When will I see people I've known all my life? I mean, it's
and
the first start for me in the U.S. Exactly.
And in a super small town, like
yeah,
that was
small town
crazy.
Oregon, beautiful town, but man, people and their beliefs, like it's hard to get by when you're melaninated like this.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. And then like 6 months in, it was like 2020.
Yeah, it was 2020. So right around, I mean, this was around the time R.I.P. George Floyd. Everything was going on.
Well, we started this before that.
Yeah, right before that. This one, do you remember we shot some of the videos for our Pride box back then when we were doing that, and then I was helping this old gentleman garden.
I think we started in March or April.
Yeah, what was crazy around that time, right? Was right after that when the whole thing happened in May. I was gardening for this old guy. And then I was walking back from the store, like the corner store there. Someone like literally spit on me.
Yes.
That was an absolute shocker. Like that shook me in a way that I cannot even explain. Like that was my first not my first because that intense experience at the airport. I think I talked about it in the previous episode, right? But this is like the second one. Randomly, this was right the same day those idiots, asshole cops murdered George Floyd. It was the same day. Yeah, and then.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So this guy, like random freaking old asshole in a Jeep, just rolls down his window, just coming from the shop back to the house, just walking back a couple blocks. Just rolls down the window and yells like racial slurs and says he's gonna kill me, and literally like spat out of his like spat a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, spit out the window towards me, and that was humiliating. And then just rolled away. Which, to be honest, if we stopped, we'd see who would spit on whom. Yeah, that was a shock. Then we come back and we hear the whole thing about George Floyd, and the world just shifted. We have COVID. We have the whole thing going on with police brutality and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was quite an intense time,
Yeah.
and like that touch of reality that you hear about so many things. I mean, there's so much beauty in this country, so much diversity and stuff, but also like such bullshit political ideas.
Yeah, seriously.
Left, right.
Yeah.
I mean, make up your mind.
I think that's the problem.
Yeah,
People's
why
minds are
can't we
too
just
made
make
up.
up your mind that today what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be human.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, how hard is that? How hard is it to wake up and decide to be fucking human?
Yeah, go off.
I mean, both sides of the coin, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I come from a different country, so I'm not really in that like the bipartisan bullshit. I always tell people when they ask me what I think about a certain party or this. I mean, there's the ideals of all people across the board. I mean, you see people in the blue party that are assholes supporting genocide.
Yeah.
Then there's people on the other side that are assholes supporting like all sorts of bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah. So reality really hit us hard.
Yeah.
I mean, and we think about how much time we actually had on our hands to be at home and not do much, not be social and stuff too.
Yeah, I was still working.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like
I couldn't really work except make products.
it was like 4 hours a day, but it was the middle of the night, so I slept a lot. Like I didn't sleep a lot, but I slept late. But yeah, we did just try to take it as we come, and basically, when we started this, it was called Thea's Essence, and basically, like, you were wanting to start a company and revive your grandpa's business.
Yeah. Which,
So I think
like I've said
now's
before,
a
my
good
grandpa
time
was
to
an essential
tell that
chemist.
backstory.
Yeah, like I learned all this from my grandpa, my late grandfather. Rest in peace, Dada. So a lot of the basics. I mean, I started learning really young. That was the benefit of growing up in a family which had a pretty large business. Him being an essential oil chemist, a supplier, perfumer, helping with some of the most iconic perfumes. So one of my earliest memories is getting paid with ice cream to help make some of these. So we were making perfume for hand-rolled incense, right? You have like a bunch of essential oils, aroma chemicals, natural chemicals and all that. You just kind of like rolling them, dipping them. We had, so yeah, I think it was around the holiday. We didn't have too much staff in our factory, and so we were helping pack things, do all of that. And then he was like, "Help me blend this," and so I'm telling you, I think it was a 500 kilogram pot. Like there was a machine that would mix it, of course. But then like
500 kg. I can't even picture that.
Yeah. So what he did, he made it took out a smaller batch because he liked doing this, where he would take out like little parts from it, blend it separately, make sure it's good to go, then put it back, and kind of do that. So everything is kind of blended well, because then when you make like natural like hand rolled incense, like perfumes for it, there's a lot of gums and stuff you use, like ambrox, like these kind of like gummy things. So they have to constantly be in heat, make sure that it's like dissipated. So it's so hard. You're like going at it. You could do it with the machine, but you also have to be gentle. I'm talking early 2000s. Like there's not and this was also like not the biggest order. So yeah, so it was really hard to like keep stirring. I'm 6 years old. I mean, I'm stirring a pretty big batch of stuff. And this
is it like hot? Like,
well, yeah, there's low, like this hot plate under, and then you're doing it. But here's the thing, like this was not in like the actual factory, right? This batch was being made at our little factory we had in our house, like a lab. So whatever. I'm just stirring, and he said, "Come on, get it done, and then I will pay you." I was like, "What are you gonna pay me with?"
Yeah.
Right? Basically, I got excited. I'm like, maybe I'll get some Hot Wheels and stuff. Which, my grandpa really spoiled me with Hot Wheels. I had so many. I mean, growing up, I probably had a room full of Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
What? I had the biggest Hot Wheels collection anyone saw in our school and our friends and everything. I was obsessed with Hot Wheels.
Oh my god! I felt like I had a lot, and I had like 5, 6 maybe.
I probably had like 700 Hot Wheel cars.
What?
Yeah. At one point I bought one every evening after school.
Damn, you were spoiled for real.
Not spoiled.
Okay, so
I was a special, whatever.
Yeah.
So I thought I'm gonna get Hot Wheels. But I guess the payment was ice cream, which was great because there was this place by our house called Cool Joint in Janagar, Bangalore. They used to have this ice cream. It was called the Jungle Book. Oh, I loved it so much.
What was in it?
It's like so many different flavors. There's cherries in it, and then they would put like these like the chocolate rolls in there.
Oh damn.
So they would call it, yeah, kind of. So there was a lot of things. I loved that thing, you know.
Yeah.
So I was so stoked, working so hard. So yeah, that's where. I mean, I was 5, I think.
Yeah.
Even maybe early, I've helped him do things, but yeah, that's where I started, and then soon after, once we would get our homeworks done and all that, he would like to involve us. I mean, absolutely, his idea was for us to carry on his legacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's training a person. Who wouldn't want to run something cool? Like
Yeah.
that kind of family business, right? Like,
Oh.
I mean, it's a privilege to say that, to have that education and knowledge, you know?
Yeah.
Like when I was, I mean, so young, I learned about like chemicals. I learned how they go well together, like aroma chemicals and you know, certain ingredients, emulsifiers. I'm like learning about those things when I'm like 8 years old.
Yeah. That's
And
so
then
awesome.
soon after that, we started like reading a lot of the formulation books, and it's like he would ask us like, okay, how much of that, and then he would make it, and it would be like, and I was like, I don't know what it smells like. He would do the whole experiment, and he's like, okay, let's drop a little, add this more. And I literally got an understanding of that. So I did that with him from that age all the way up until he passed in 2017.
Yeah.
He was old, but he still is magic. Like, just the magic he did. Yeah.
That's so cool.
So a little backstory there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a love letter to my grandfather, in reality. I mean, if you open it, you smell the smells. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Whew.
Seriously, everything that you've made, like, honestly, is really the best smells I've ever smelled, like, in any products, like, in any perfumes or anything.
Yeah, it's always my grandpa said, like,
Yeah.
give it your all.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you make something you're proud of.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah, and I'm really proud of this, how it turned out. I mean,
Yeah.
I've worked on the formulation for months.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. So, yeah, we started Thea's Essence. Why did you want to call it Thea's Essence?
So, I mean, that backstory is, I was quite a bit into Greek mythology.
Yeah, you had called the
Yeah,
other business.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It
just
seems so random, like.
well, growing up, I was so much into like Greek mythology and like
Yeah.
so it just felt very much connected. I felt connected to that.
Yeah.
Like people like easy. I would have just called it Gaia. Like but there's already Gaia out there, but it's also such a hippie term.
Yeah. I don't know.
at this point.
It seemed like innocent. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like.
We're renamed Cloud Pink Beauty because I think this feels more aligned. You know me, you make stupid stuff, but our whole rebirth is here.
Yeah.
And look at that cute logo. I mean, look at that. Look at that.
Well, actually, and the backstory behind the name Cloud Pink came from around this time too.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I actually came up with it, But basically, like, for a while, I have been doing a lot of research about, like, um, making ethical clothing and just, like, fashion design and stuff because I have been wanting to create a clothing brand. Basically, just more than anything, out of, like, my own hatred for, like, the options in the fashion industry and just, like, not finding stuff my size, not finding stuff that made me feel like I could express my gender fluidity in like a way that still like fit my body and like look good or whatever, and not being able to find like ethical clothing that I actually think is cute. And this was like 5-6 years ago that this like plot started forming, so there is like a few more options now, but honestly still it's pretty limited. Today, like, we spent 2.5 hours, like, in the mall trying to find a swimming suit and, like, nothing in the fucking mall.
Since we're going to Iceland, yeah.
Yeah, like, nothing in the fucking mall fit me. It was
it's
miserable.
annoying.
I left crying. No, I didn't, like, literally leave crying, but I did
cry
in the car.
Cry, yeah.
I cried in the car.
Well,
because it feels miserable. It's like, what?
I mean, we even went to stores where we would not shop.
Where we wouldn't, yeah. Totally. I'm not going to shop at H&M and shit like that. And honestly, I hate to say it, like, we ended up getting it from Target. But, like, Target, like, fucking actually had something that fit my body, so, sorry. Yeah. But, like, but I don't want to, like, shop like that. But, it's hard when these are the fucking options out there.
And yeah, I mean, I took it as kind of, like, frustratingly inspiring.
Yeah, totally.
Because the whole time I kept saying, that's the solution, right?
Yeah.
So when we do our Cloud Pink clothing, which coming very soon.
It is in the works, guys.
It is in the works. You're gonna love it.
We do have like samples made and stuff in India, like, but yeah. So basically, back in early 2020, I had decided that I would call the clothing brand Cloud Pink. Why, I honestly cannot remember how I came up with it. I honestly can't remember.
Well, you're obsessed with clouds and pink, and I mean, I remember you saying something about like it being such a happy place.
Yeah.
I think you had a dream.
That sounds like me.
Yeah.
I don't remember which.
But to me, I have a meaning for Cloud Pink.
Yeah, what is it?
I mean, the reason I even agreed to turn it all copy is because, I mean, I think, like, for me, like, the color pink... Oh, fun fact, I have synesthesia. So...
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Tell them.
So, but yeah, the color pink I associate with a lot of calm and joy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you'll see that across our branding, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called Cloud Pink. You gotta have pink there.
Yeah.
So, I think it's like a soft, calm, resting, joyous place called Pink.
Yeah, that is what I think about it too. And I think when we talked about it and we were going for a walk and we talked about Cloud Pink and like you were like, oh hell yeah, that's so dope. And the whole sky I remember like filled up with pink clouds and it was like, well, that's meant to be.
That's meant to be.
Obviously. So, but anyway, at the time we didn't think of making these as one company. We thought of making them as two. So you started Thea's Essence, and at that time I decided I will start Cloud Pink, and you would be a part of it, and I would be a part of Thea's, of course. But the thing is, so I did buy on cloudpink.com at the time, because cloudpink.com was like $12,000. So I bought on Cloud Pink.
Hey, by the way, it's a pending trademark, so...
Yeah.
So, Ariana Grande...
pending trademark, beach. And I did come up with that before she came up with that perfume also. So, basically, fast forward like years later to a few months ago, we were thinking like, how do we actually
combine?
Well, even to get to the point of deciding to combine, it was kind of like, how do we, like, do this? Like, how do we, like, have multiple companies. Like, how do we have a life? Like, we also work jobs and stuff like that. So, but then we started getting inspired to actually combine the two brands, and then the name Cloud Pink felt more like aligned for both. And
Absolutely.
and we also realized that basically the common thread of anything we do is us, like our vibe, like our creativity, our values. So anyway, going back to 2020 spring, when you started the company, and summer,
We did the Pride Box. That was pretty big.
yes, yeah, the Pride Box was actually pretty big.
I mean, I ended up
We were
donating
like-
all of it, essentially,
Yeah.
to
Lakota Bail Fund.
Lakota
mostly.
Bail Fund. I mean, we sold, I think, a couple hundred and
Boxes?
in a couple weeks.
It was crazy because, like, our business was brand new, and I remember we made like $6,000 of revenue or something, right?
Yeah,
In
I mean, it
June.
was more than 6,000.
It was such a shock. Like, our business was brand new, and then literally we had like all night long we were like making these boxes,
making product, packing.
yeah,
it.
packing it, shipping
And we
it.
worked with the local lotion maker at that point, and she made some of the best lotions. So
Yeah.
we were partnering with to make some.
We
of
even
ours.
partnered with a friend to do like art prints,
Yeah.
and it was really
And we
dope.
had that special Pride Queen perfume.
Yes, that perfume was the bomb.
Yeah, it's gonna come back. Don't worry.
That perfume
That's
is
gonna
the
be-
bomb. Tell him to make it come back.
I mean, people who know Pride Queen, you go way back. Thank you for being there.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah, we started this. We like, yeah, it kind of blew up. Like, it felt like it was blowing up, and it was really cool. Not that like we profited much.
Well, we did.
But-
We kind of did, but all of it like really went into, like promised, planting a bunch of trees, carbon offsetting,
Yeah.
which we still do. Every order you make on our website, like hella carbon offset, 10x.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Pride Box was bomb. So
Yes.
we'll bring that back again sometime soon. Pride
Speaking
Queen
of-
will too. Yeah.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. Happy almost Juneteenth.
And happy almost Bakrid. Eid
Eid
al-Adha.
al-Adha. So yeah, for Eid al-Adha, for Pride Month, for everything, may we all be blessed with family, belonging, love, abundance, and a lot of joy. And
Good
may all our
food.
ancestors work and against like racial injustice and for racial justice and everything come to fruition in a way we would like to see in the world. A
Yes.
world where we all wake up and we're like, oh, I'm human. I'm going to be so good to my co-humans.
Oh.
That's how I mostly see the world.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
Most
I have
people-
raging thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
Why do you got to be like that?
Yeah. Most people.
Maybe,
are
hopefully you may move away from black, brown, white, all that stuff.
Yeah.
All the social constructs.
Yeah. And, you know, honor our queer ancestors too, who like,
Yeah, absolutely.
and just everyone who basically.
Who's fought for us to
fought,
be here
yeah.
today. Yeah.
Yeah. Walk so we can run and all that
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, so around that time, we came up to Portland. It was in 2020. There was the protest going on since the thing happened with George Floyd.
Yeah.
And Portland was pretty crazy with COVID and stuff. And
It
the
looked
protests.
post-apocalyptic, honestly,
Yeah.
because everything was like boarded shut because of COVID and because of the protests, I guess, or like because of people's
Yeah.
reaction to the protests were like, and like counter protesters and all this stuff. So there was
Dude,
just, and
it
the
went on
cops-
for so long, which is great. I mean, I love Portland.
I think
for
it
that.
was one of the longest protesting cities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which Portland is quick to protest. We do love that. So it was like, also like the cops making it look so post-apocalyptic because
oh
they
my
really
gosh.
they were using like, you know, I mean, same story all over the whole country. We don't need to really like detail it too much, but yeah, there was just like smoke in the air. There was weird sounds, like all kinds of
Yeah, I mean, so we were there on the second day after that big march had happened in early June. Things just shifted so quickly. like protesting in front of the Justice Center
Yeah.
here, and then suddenly like there's tear gas, there's smoke bombs, there's dumpster fires, there's cops chasing, so fast, everything moves so fast, and yeah, I couldn't even. Because I've been to protests in my life,
Yeah.
but seeing something of that scale, one like is beautiful, right? People
Yeah.
standing up is like giving a big fuck you to the oppressive systems.
Yeah.
And then two was intense.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Collectively,
Definitely.
I mean,
There was parts where it was like beautiful and parts where it was just like really,
Scary.
really overwhelming.
overwhelming and scary.
Yeah.
So I mean, we marched around Portland. It was great. The next day. Oh, we made some great friends too who led protests.
Yeah. Shout out beautiful people.
Yeah. And
We won't mention them though. That's not okay.
that's privacy reasons. We won't
Yeah,
mention that.
exactly. Respect your privacy. But so we're gonna talk about
This
Yeah.
day we were at the
Go
Justice
for
Center.
it. Yeah.
There was this was white boy. Was he?
No, he wasn't actually.
Seemed to me maybe white Latino. Whatever. Let's not put tables. So we were just at the protest by the Justice Center. Everyone's trying to calmly protest, and it's like some people were throwing bottles up to the cops and stuff. And this guy was just there to disturb the peace.
Yeah. He
Essentially,
was probably like working for the other side, honestly.
yeah, and he's just like drunk and
He was like trying to force feed girls beer.
and then grabbed the butt.
That's
Yeah,
disgusting.
and then like suddenly came up to me, used the N-word, and said he wants to fight me.
Oh my god, I forgot about that part.
I was like, bro, what the hell, man? No.
So
we saw we
bad.
stepped away, and then we came back, and our friend who is so sassy,
Yeah,
X we'll call him.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, just went off at that guy. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, what the fuck, man? And what did he say? It's
I don't know.
something
I
so
think,
funny.
I don't remember, but I think like you told X like what had just happened.
Yeah.
And X was just like, oh hell no, and like just like went.
Yeah, because that guy came again and started bothering, and then this guy tries to swing at X, and then our other friend, let's call it L,
Yeah.
just pulls him to the side and is like, hey, you're not gonna fucking do this. And then you called me and I was like, oh, they're fighting, you want to stop that, you want to get in, what? So I stepped in, and I just
Stepped in more like parted the seas of the protests and got.
Yeah. So I got in, right? And because this guy already wanted to fight me, I mean, I was not trying to pick a fight.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. So literally, so he tries to swing at our friend L. I just go in, basically grab him in a chokehold like that.
Yeah.
And then give him a few nice kicks and punches.
No, but didn't the friend at the same
right
time
there,
try to hit you
so
with a
his
beer
friend
bottle?
tried to hit me with the beer bottles, and what I did is kicked. Yeah,
At
literally
the same time.
Yeah, same time I'm taking.
So I just look over and it just looks like this boom, like everybody's
yeah,
going to the
at that
ground.
point, basically, I took his friend and him down, and then I took X down apparently too. At the same
later
time.
on that night, he was like, "You fucking heifer, you took me down too."
It was this whole thing. So many people got gathered, and I just took this kid down, and what happened right after that was a freaking undercover sprayed the hell out of me with mace.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the pain.
So this whole thing happened so fast. So literally, you look over and it goes boom. This whole thing.
I'm not even lying. It's like 6 seconds holding it onto my face.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of mace.
Then all of a sudden, everybody's dispersed, and Sonic's like red and all this stuff. And
I
then,
couldn't see for 2 hours.
And
Of
people
course
are
I
like,
was
"Oh my god, he's pepper sprayed." So a lot of people start trying to help him, and somebody pours just like a shit ton of milk on his face, and then it just. Remember, X said it looked like something that came out of a spider's butthole. Your whole face was just.
Yeah, I have hives.
You were literally
hives
red
all
and
over
white.
my face, yeah.
And everybody was like scared to even like go up to you and touch you or anything. And so I was like,
I was ripping my shirt off.
Yeah, you did. There was some like people who were like experienced with that did help and everything, but it was rugged. I mean, that looked so painful.
Oh, it was so painful. So that happened. It was I mean, things got crazier after that, right? I mean, there was like all these Proud Boys and all these idiots getting
Yeah.
it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, things got scary for sure.
That's scary. And we went back to Eastern Oregon where we were living.
Yeah.
Right after that, I mean, a couple months, right? I mean, June, July, August. So, what was August? Yeah, August 16th was our wedding day, our legal, cute, COVID wedding.
Yeah, we planned it like a week or two before.
Yeah, we ordered clothes from India.
Yeah. And we did it in like our neighbor's backyard.
Those people from five continents.
On
Asia, Europe, America,
Africa. You said Europe?
Yeah, and anywhere else? Was it someone from Australia? No. I'm trying to think. Someone might have been. There's 4 or 5 continents. There's so many people. We had set up a TV.
Yeah.
And there's so many people from there because they couldn't be there. But that was really beautiful.
So many countries in each of those continents too, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
So we legally got married on August 16, 2020.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was very pretty.
Yeah. It was small. I mean, it's obviously like hard to like get married without like a lot of people there that you like imagine would always be there.
Yeah.
But it like made sense for us at the time, and it's what we wanted to do at the time, and I think like, you gotta do what you gotta do. It was COVID, so.
Yeah. And shortly after that is when we bought our bus.
Right. In September or October?
And it's early October, yeah, of 2020, which we still have.
Yeah, so we started getting like really into the idea of like doing van life and stuff.
Van life, which was really big. It's still big, I mean.
Yeah, and at the time also we were kind of accepting that, like we didn't know how long COVID was gonna last, and that like our life was probably like here in the States.
Honestly, at one
for
point
some
I
time
thought
at least.
it would. Yeah, so that's when I actually applied for my permanent residency.
Yeah.
Because really, there was no flights out here.
Yeah.
It was really bad in the end of 2020, early 21. Like, and my visa time here was expiring. I was like, oh yeah. So I applied for my permanent residency. So.
Yeah, we didn't really know like what would happen, but we kind of like we were like, okay, we were adapting. Basically, is what I mean. So we ended up getting a shuttle bus, and we started building it out ourselves. It had seats and everything. We like tore them out, and we actually have this thing like built out most of the way. Which
I still need to finish it. Which I'm very, very much looking forward to. So we thought about like kind of selling it and stuff, but maybe later. I want to keep it. I mean, we have a bathroom. We have solar panels.
Yeah.
We built as much as we did in 5 months. The first trip we took was literally a month and a half later. We went to Paisley, Oregon for a camping trip.
Yeah.
That was great. That was amazing. And although we didn't have the heater we have in it now.
That's what I was going to say. It was cold.
Yeah, we had that little Mr. Buddy propane heater.
Yeah, it was too
that
cold.
thing made it so humid inside. So if you ever do van life or something, know that thing's going to just make everything so humid inside. It's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is condensation everywhere.
Propane heater is way better. So
no, propane heater is we have
diesel heater is way
gas.
better.
Just get a gas heater or an electric heater. You're gonna be better off. Yeah. So I mean, we took about 5 months until we moved. Like we were building it all the time, and it was through the winter, through the snow, cold, and then it's just amazing what we could achieve with that. And then,
we were building over the winter. You're right.
Yeah. Well, whatever happened, we had to. Kind of move into the bus. Yeah, that led to us moving into the bus in the late spring of 2021.
Late winter.
Late winter, not late spring. Yeah, late winter.
And that kind of, it had pros and cons. It was cool, but the thing is, it wasn't done yet. We weren't actually like planning to move in, and just circumstances, whatever. So we ended up living in it when it wasn't finished, and that was tricky.
But we made it work.
Yeah, We stayed with friends also in California and stuff.
For a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But, like, the thing is, also, I had started fashion school, remember this? So, before that, still during COVID, I had decided, like, that I wanted to learn how to design clothes because of Color
And
Pink
you're
and
learning
everything.
in Spanish.
Yeah, because I basically, like, looked for programs, like, all over the world and stuff, and I found, like, the cheapest, most reasonable program was, like, an online, and it was, you know, it was COVID, so it had to be online anyway. So the cheapest one that I thought actually looked good was a Mexican school, like a Mexican trade school, and it was all in Spanish, so I decided to learn Spanish and do it.
Good. Yeah,
Yeah.
you were doing really good.
It was really fun.
We kind of put a dent in that when we moved into the bus, of course.
Yeah, because then what happened is, like, I couldn't.
You had your sewing set up in there for a little bit, but it was tough.
It was just too much because, like, with the bus not being done and the things that we needed not being out, it would just, like, there was no room, and then it would just take so much to, like, set everything up and tear it down. So, and then with on top of it just being in, like, a second language and trying to, like, simultaneously learn that language while dealing with that.
Well, it kind of put a dent in operating our business too.
Yeah.
I mean, we
That
did
is
it out of
kind
the
of-
bus.
For a little
I
bit,
mean-
but that is actually kind of what happened to Thea's, because we were, like, rolling.
It was circumstances that we had to move into the bus.
Yeah.
And
It wasn't, like, what we
varied
wanted to do.
reasons. So, I mean, we weren't ready to move in yet into it, of course, because we
Mhm.
hadn't completed it. If it was complete, it would be much easier. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot easier. Or, I mean, I built the bus on the road, too.
Yeah.
You know, one time that door was flying off, I had to screw it in.
Oh my god, I remember that one time the freaking we were
Oh,
driving
the
on
sky-
the freeway
we
and
were
the
going to Santa
skylight
Cruz.
freaking flew off.
So I cut open the roof and put a skylight in our
Yeah.
bus. And what had happened, I don't know what happened. I think the hinges went loose or something on it because it was an opening skylight, right? It was a roof hatch. It literally flew off on the freeway headed to Santa Cruz. So
That was terrifying.
and then we're going through the highway, you know, where the coastal highway, and you're going through all these hills to go to Santa Cruz, and then we had this, like, little tire cover that I wrapped it with bungee cords, because, I mean, I needed stuff so we ended up fixing it in the parking lot of Kira's place in Santa Cruz. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. That whole thing was, like, intense, but there was some, like, really cool moments.
Yeah, we got a Big Sur. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
4 days, no connectivity in Big Sur in the bus.
Yeah.
What a gorgeous sight. I mean,
Yeah, because we had driven down to, like, the Bay Area.
Stayed there with friends, some summer solstice.
Yeah, for, like, I think we stayed around the Bay Area for, like, 2 months, maybe?
Was it solstice? Equinox?
Samhain.
Which is...
No, it wasn't Samhain. Samhain is October.
Oh, sorry, no, Samhain.
It would have been spring equinox.
Yeah. Was it solstice? Summer solstice?
Yeah, summer solstice. It wasn't that. It was spring equinox.
Okay.
We were there for that, yeah. And then we went to Big Sur, which this was by far my favorite part of, like, living in a bus, actually.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Is when we drove to Big Sur, and it was like, I mean, it was just gorgeous, like, absolutely mind-blowingly gorgeous, and we just, like, drove up and down and, like, camped on the side.
Yeah. That was, I mean, elephant seals. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we had to go out, I mean, quite far to even get service.
Yeah.
So we stayed, I mean, without service and stuff for, like, 3 whole days. That was
Yeah.
cool.
It was, like, romantic in that way.
It's very romantic to be in Big Sur, see those sunsets, the ocean.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful area of the U.S. I mean, this country is actually quite gorgeous, especially the West Coast.
Yeah.
All the way, California up to Canada.
Yeah. We'll try to add pictures of that too. I think we have some pictures we could add.
We stayed in it for 10 months. I mean, at this point, we had to start some work, and we can further get into that.
Yeah,
Crazy. Yeah.
I mean, this is like an obvious theme of like our stories, but like we'll just like go as far and cool as we can, and then we'll just like eventually run out of money and be like, okay, and like just panic and be like, I mean, we'll be like, not. It's like we'll be running out of money the whole time, but then like it hits a point where we're like, no.
Okay. We kind of live like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, well, this was the time my friends kind of scammed me too.
Okay, I was going to ask if you wanted to actually talk about this.
Yeah.
And then I was going to say we could cut it if you didn't. But yeah, so
I had some friends who came up with the noble idea of selling used vehicle parts, which was an actual legit business. It was, I was like, yeah. So they were
like it is a normal business that happens.
Yeah. Those friends, and then there was some other one who got involved too, right? There was a couple. It went well with my friends for like a few months.
And this was right before we moved into the bus, so like over the winter, 2020, 2021 winter.
Which actually gave us quite a bit of like financial stability and stuff for a little bit.
For a little while.
That's what the money we were using when we first came into California and stuff. So it was going well with my friends there. I had a person who got in contact with someone I knew, and he wanted to do the same thing. So basically it was using my company to process payments, do the support and all that, and then them like doing the actual sales. So it was like a split. Makes sense, right? It was just a third party making things happen. When we were in Paisley, I was working with this guy. A whole contract drawn up, background checks done. It's fine. Suddenly I get notifications. You've been charged back. You've been charged back. It's 40 chargebacks.
Right. Oh my God, I remember
and then
waking
I was
up
freaking out
thinking,
because
what the fuck is going on?
I was like, what's going on? So I contacted the person. I was like, hey, could you give me tracking numbers of all the things that you're shipping out? I'm not going to send you money for things that, because I was just sending money because they would give me these tracking numbers. They're basically fake stuff. You could, you could verify the tracking number on USPS or whatever, and it was fine. But actually, it was never going through.
So basically, to simplify, you're taking the payments from the customers for these products. You're sending the payment to these people that are supposed to be sending the products to the customers. And then they were just not sending them, and they were making it look like they were.
Mm-hmm. And
then it finally just started catching up. And then, so when all of these customers charged back, that all went into his business, like his account. Basically, all those chargebacks.
It was really bad.
Went
it was
thousands
lawsuits.
and thousands and thousands
There
into
was
the
lawsuits.
negative. Yeah.
Remember?
Well, yeah. I mean, Elevon sued us, basically, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would understand that as a company, but at the same time, we had enough. Luckily,
But also, these payment processors should have some scam protection or something too.
Yeah, I mean, so one day I woke up and there was the bank balance was negative 10,000.
Yeah, that
negative 10,000. That would freak me out.
Because
2 days before that I had
terrified.
2 days before that I had 37,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
And then negative 10 after that.
The whole situation was wild because, at least for me, I wasn't used to seeing money come in like that, so I was very shook that money was coming in like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was very shook.
Quite a stressful time with that. Oh my God.
When the money went out like that, I was.
I'm back. So when we came back from our camping trip in Paisley, I was literally trying to battle this out. Then that person literally ghosted me.
Right.
So don't fall for these scams. I mean, if you're buying auto parts and stuff, there is legit places to do it.
Of course.
I mean, reach out to me. I can actually point out to actual legit places, because I was doing it with my friends. I was pretty legit up until those guys turned on me too.
Yeah, they did.
They did. They caused. I mean, overall, it was hundreds of thousands in losses total, 190 grand, 200 grand, something like that. I mean, when you think about it, that's insane amount of money.
I don't even know how it's possible. I honestly, even at the time, didn't really fully get what was going on. but the whole thing was stressful. But it like messed with us in a way for like years, but then we got so blessed last year, was it, or the year before, because
we were caught summoned.
we had like $10,000 of debt left from it.
Because I paid a lot of it.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Yeah. And basically...
We were summoned to court.
Oh, Up wants to go.
Bye, Up.
Bye, Up. Love you.
Yeah, we were summoned to court.
Yeah, to like deal with this last $10,000 or whatever. And Elevon, like the opposing side, didn't show up. So
they didn't show up, so that was dropped. And I mean, so these debt collectors are smart. What they keep doing is like they'll sell it to one. You know, a lot of people write out debt and saying like, whatever, I can negotiate with. But they sell it for pennies to the dollar, right?
Yeah.
And they'll sell it to someone else, and then honestly, they like call you at 8 a.m., 5 a.m. and stuff like outside of your normal hours. That's illegal.
Yeah.
And then I had enough documentation to show it in court and be like, hey, this is what happened. That was fine. But we got really lucky because, you know, we were in the right. Like, we didn't do anything wrong. Those people wronged us.
Yeah.
And
it's hard because, like, in a position like that, the people who actually scammed, like, they have systems in place and, like, they have, like, knowledge of how to do that. Like, they have the whole thing planned out, so it's actually really hard to like ever make those people take accountability.
Yeah.
The accountability just like falls on people that are like innocent because they're not even thinking of anything like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But so yeah, we made it through that. So at that point,
yeah, we ran out of money essentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was May, and end of April.
And my job had started like petering out around
summer. You weren't working.
Yeah.
You had stopped working.
Like, yeah.
And then I was, like, literally paying through the business going well. It was really good. I mean, if they did it honestly, like, I could have, like, really funneled so much money into this, which I was trying at that point.
Yeah.
And, you know,
and that wasn't going too bad either, so I think that's why I stopped.
That's one of the reasons, like, where, you know, so much revenue and orders coming in, all of that money just got pulled out, and there was nothing left to put this. I mean, regardless of how much, they're like, oh, support small, no matter how many orders you have or anything, if you don't have the cash flow, you cannot run the business. Cash flow is, like, the most important thing.
Yeah, seriously,
I mean,
it's really...
it's a vendor for some products is not going to tell you to, pay me, like, 60 days later. No.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, like, in the U.S., it doesn't work like that. Although... the fucking stupid part is, like, if you sell things to grocery stores or something, they will pay you only after 45 days.
Yeah.
Which, think about it, I at that time had finalized that contract with the Walmarts, like, some, you know, for the business to get it into, like, Walmart. Not normal Walmart. They had like connections with like a bunch of things, like their online, like more like kind of like higher range.
Yeah, because our products wouldn't go.
Yeah, not in the store, but like it was supposed to be huge. And I was looking at, you know, like automatic bottling machines and this and that, like all like about ready to sign the contract. But really, how would I come up with like probably like $500,000 to fulfill that order?
Yeah.
When that was going on with the business, like everything was taken away.
Yeah.
And then that got kicked. Yeah.
Also, there's just like a lot of reasons why I think, in a way, we would be ready to do something big like that at the time, but in a way, like it was just meant to be. And I think we're like we just had a lot to grow and everything.
Yeah. I still feel bad because one of the people who scammed me, I knew him for a long time.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling.
And the person still doesn't accept that they scammed me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't talk to him, of course.
But he hasn't taken accountability, basically.
He hasn't taken accountability. I mean, now, karma, it's like having to hide around because he scammed so many people.
Oh, finally. I mean, it took a long time for his karma to catch up with him. But what was I going to say?
Yeah, we ran out of money.
Oh, yeah. Basically, I had stopped working because also my job, like, after so long in COVID, like, my job was starting to peter off as well. Just because I think, it was like I was teaching Chinese kids English, and like their parents had to pay a lot of money for that. So, people started struggling and stuff more, and just
Yeah, it was tough.
Started petering off. So then,
before you could like book up your whole calendar. At this point, it was like tough.
Yeah, exactly. When COVID first started, I could really book up because people were like, "Oh, we're at home. Like, let's keep our kids in as much English as they can." But then later it petered off. So at this point, the point of what I'm saying is that these two businesses were like our only income streams at this point. So when we realized that we had been scammed and that whole thing was like done for, we were like, oh, we need to find income like right now. So,
and honestly, I couldn't work. I didn't have a work permit.
Yeah. So we decided to go up to Southern Oregon and trim weed. And that's the part that we'll get into next episode.
We will. That's a crazy part.
So guys, thank you so much for listening until this point. Use the code on our website, podcast, all caps, to get
10% off
this Glimmer
most of our products.
cleanser.
So since you're coming from the podcast, it's a little thank you. And
I
again,
guess you could use it for everything.
and our products are reasonably priced, and it just a lot of thought and energy and effort went into this. You're gonna love it. This is quite a bit big solution and a simple solution to complicated human bodies.
Yes. So on Cloud Pink.
No, cloudpinkbeauty.com.
Sorry. Cloudpinkbeauty.com.
And
code podcast for 10% off.
And at Cloud Pink Beauty on Instagram, on
TikTok.
YouTube, it's on Cloud Pink. You'll see all the links in the bio. Thank you for being here and supporting us.
Yes.
Check this out, please.
See you next week on our Iceland episode. Bye.
With the stars. Bye. Thank you.